Hey, everybody, welcome inside the sit down. Ryan Mayer, now joined by the founder of StriaSport. It's a new athletic footwear company, Eric Porter. Eric, thank you so much for taking some time. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
So, I want to have you take me back a little bit here. I know you were a college basketball player, spent time at Loyola Chicago before transferring to Lake Forest. And then you get out of college and are going into the job world. And this is the route you decided to take with founding a new company in the footwear game and getting into making basketball shoes. So, how did that all come together?
Yeah, it's been a crazy ride so far. Definitely a lot of learning. Um, but I've always been passionate about footwear, that design world, the sports culture. And out of college is when I got connected with a former Nike designer, piggybacked off him. We threw ideas back at each other, and we started designing a basketball shoe that we thought had a niche market in the crowded space of footwear, where our shoes focused on lightweight comfort and just creating a performance shoe, kind of steering away from a lot of shoes that are heavier or have loud, kind of crazy designs. Ours is simplistic, sleek, and big emphasis on performance. So we spent about 6 months designing the shoe, and then we spent about a year and a half developing it overseas.
And you spoke about having the opportunity to get connected with the former Nike designer there. Take me through everybody that's involved here and how you all came together as a group.
Yeah, so it's me. My dad's been helping out, and then it's a bunch of my former teammates who are kind of in the basketball world that all have different plugs and connections, whether it's Chicago or different states. And that's kind of how we formed it. We The whole idea was a performance brand founded by athletes for athletes, where we all came from different sports backgrounds and kind of what we feel like would fit us on the reverse end instead of us selling it, but what would we want to buy as a consumer? And that was kind of the mindset we had. And also, it's just a blend of people kind of intertwining. And there's no timetables. So we did this all on our own time schedule, no deadlines. And it's when we felt it was right, when everything we felt the shoe was ready to take to market, that's when we launched. So yeah, there's a group of guys involved, family, friends, kind of everyone's helping out, and it's been a good ride so far.
Now, you mentioned having the opportunity to take it to market when you guys were ready. So that then builds into the question, because obviously you're looking to grow this as your business and among the group. What are the plans for trying to expand, and where in the process are you guys in that setup?
Yeah, so we launched 5 months ago, and we really haven't paid for any marketing or anything. It's just been word of mouth so far, and I think the word's getting out. Even when I'm playing pickup at East Bank or other places downtown, I'll walk in and someone's wearing the shoes, and it's like, wow, that's awesome. I think the goal down the line is just getting the word out and just keep getting sales and finding different niche markets, whether it's team sales, whether it's camps, whether it's tennis teams, volleyball. It's not just restricted to basketball. I think the shoe is developed and designed for basketball, but because it's a performance shoe, it's lightweight and it's not a high top shoe. The shoe can go into tennis, volleyball, pickleball, walking the dog. So there's different kind of markets, but I think the big focus is camps, teams, whether it's high schools, AAU, colleges, and just finding that niche market. And I think the really cool thing, which is helping us grow, is we can add logos to our shoe. And I don't know if the bigger brands really care about the smaller high school or smaller AAU team. And a big thing that's really helping us kind of get going is the logo part. So we can add the Deerfield High School logo or whatever the logo or brand is. And we've been getting a ton of orders for people to even put their custom logo. So if little Billy from Deerfield High School wants to have his own personal logo, we can do that. And I think that's been getting a lot of good press and good feedback so far.
Well, that's awesome. And I do wonder, you mentioned some of the avenues that you guys have been exploring there, whether it be through team camps right now it's been mostly through that word of mouth and some of those custom ordering as well. Have you guys talked to or gotten in conversations with any local sporting goods stores in the Chicago area about potentially doing something on that front as well?
So I think we've had conversations, but right now it's just through e-commerce on our
Sure.
website. I think down the line, retail will definitely be we'll have an emphasis on, but for now it's just e-commerce and kind of just networking through the Midwest ourselves and kind of just having other people that we know helping and kind of getting the word out. And I think social media has been really big, getting the brand out there, not just for the Midwest and Chicago, but in other parts of the country, in Boston, Maine, California. I mean, we've had orders coming in from all over the last couple months, so it's been great.
And you kind of touched on this next question a little bit earlier when you were discussing the story for you at coming out of college and getting this whole thing started. But was it really the tough job market that you found after you came out of college that sparked the idea? You know what? Hey, let's do it ourselves.
It was. I think once we never heard back. I mean, I applied to a million different like big brands and never heard back. And this was always my passion. I actually have a full-time job right now. I've been working for a real estate developer my last year and a half. So I actually do Stria at night, which is pretty hectic too. But I think overall, my biggest passion in the world has always been shoes. Now, obviously, I'd love to grow Stria and have it become a huge major brand. But once I never heard back from all those brands and applying to jobs, I was like, you know what, let's just do it our own way. Um, and that's what we've been doing. You know, it took 2.5 years. It was not a quick, easy process, and there was a lot of learning curves to be dealt with. But it's been the biggest learning experience of my whole life. Is just by teaching and listening and being a sponge. But I mean, you learn along the way, and you kind of freestyle it as you go.
Yeah, you touched on that learning there. And I do wonder what were some of the lessons that you guys picked up along the way? Because as you mentioned, a long process there from the inception of the idea to bringing the product to market here.
Yeah, I mean, there's learning from every piece, learning that the bottom of the shoe is not called the bottom of the shoe. It's called the outsole. I mean, that's something I initially didn't know. And just by being a collector of shoes, I never actually studied the tech pack and the specifics of the breakdown of the shoe. And that's what I had to learn. When we were designing the shoe, we had to break each part of the shoe down by material, by weight, all of that, just because you didn't want to start backwards, and you do all the work early on. And that was just the learning part, was breaking the materials down, looking at all the different tech packs. What can we make our shoe? What kind of material can we use? And I think a big part of that was our designer. He was in the industry. He's been in the industry. So it was a lot of picking him and picking his brain. But I think a lot of things were just learning. I mean, I didn't have the footwear industry experience, but it was one of those, you know, well, let's just be an entrepreneur and learn as we go, and we'll figure it out. If there's issues, we'll fix it. I mean, I think the good part is it was me and a couple other people. There wasn't like we had to get approval by 10 different people above us. It was us. So when we were getting samples flown in from overseas, we would wear the shoe, break it down. What do we have to improve? We went through 12 different samples over a year and a half, breaking down the shoe, and then we send it back. So it was really on us. It was when we feel it's ready, that's when we'll go with this thing.
Now, the final thing that I've really wanted to get into with you is you mentioned the fact that these shoes can be used not only for basketball but across sports and across various different aspects, even of just life. But I do wonder, is there some ideas there that are bouncing around for another design for the shoe that kind of branches off into some of those life areas, or keeping it simple right now and maybe that comes further down the line?
Yeah. So right now we only have one shoe, the one basketball shoe, but we have a lot of designs in the vault for down the line, whether it's going to be a running shoe or a walk around shoe. We definitely have a lot of ideas. I think it was just for right now. It's we want to get the brand out there um, with this first model, which is called the 107 series, and then down the line once kind of, I mean, COVID was a weird year to launch during. I mean, basketball was halted for a lot of the time, but I think once we get the momentum and keep it going, we definitely have plans to roll out other models, whether it's a basketball shoe or a running shoe or a walk around shoe. I think everything's still on the table.
Well, that's awesome. And I wish you the best of luck going forward with this. So before I get you out of here, just let people know where they can go and find StriaSport.
Yeah, StriaSport.com, StriaSport, and check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, StriaSport, just plain StriaSport. Yeah.
Perfect. Eric, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me.